In the charming, serene town of Brooksville, the Mitchell family was known for their warm smiles and active community involvement. Richard Mitchell, a successful financial consultant, and his wife Jennifer, a renowned interior designer, seemed to have it all. Their picturesque home, nestled among oak trees and blooming gardens, reflected the life they had built together. However, after 10 years of marriage, Richard and Jennifer felt their relationship had lost some of its initial spark. Their busy careers and the routines of daily life had taken a toll on their intimacy, and they were both eager to rekindle the passion that had once defined their relationship. One evening, Jennifer confided in her close friend about her concerns. The friend, known for her adventurous spirit, suggested something unconventional, an erotic massage. She explained how she and her partner had tried it, and how it had brought a new level of intimacy and excitement to their relationship. Intrigued by the idea, Jennifer broached the subject with Richard, who, though initially hesitant, agreed to give it a try. After some research, they found a highly recommended spa in the next town over, known for its discreet and professional services. The spa, located in a secluded area, offered a variety of massages designed to enhance intimacy and relaxation. They booked a private session with a masseuse named Elena, who was reputed for her skills and discretion. The day of the appointment arrived, and both Richard and Jennifer were filled with a mix of excitement and nervousness. As they entered the dimly lit spa, they were greeted by the soothing sounds of soft music and the scent of aromatic oils. Elena, a stunning woman in her early 30s with a calm and confident demeanor, welcomed them warmly. She led them to a private room, explaining the process and ensuring they felt comfortable. The massage began with both Richard and Jennifer lying side by side on plush massage tables draped in soft towels. Elena's skilled hands moved gracefully, applying just the right amount of pressure to relax their tense muscles. As the session progressed, the atmosphere became more intimate. Elena's touch, combined with the sensual ambiance of the room, began to awaken desires that had long been dormant. Both Richard and Jennifer found themselves thoroughly enjoying the experience. The feeling of Elena's hands on their bodies, coupled with the sight of each other's contented expressions, stirred a sense of excitement within them. For the first time in years, they felt a deep connection, sharing something profoundly intimate and unique. The session ended with both of them feeling rejuvenated and closer than they had in a long time. Over the next few weeks, Richard and Jennifer continued to visit the spa, each session bringing them closer together. They found that the massages not only rekindled their physical intimacy, but also improved their emotional connection. They began to communicate more openly, share their desires and fantasies, and explore new aspects of their relationship. As time went on, Jennifer began to notice a change. While she still enjoyed the massages, she couldn't help but feel a growing sense of unease. Elena's attention seemed to be shifting more towards Richard, her touches becoming increasingly intimate and deliberate. Initially, Jennifer dismissed these thoughts as mere insecurities, but the feeling of jealousy began to gnaw at her. Richard, oblivious to his wife's growing discomfort, was thoroughly enjoying the experiences. Elena's expert touch had him completely relaxed, and he was lost in the moment during each session. Jennifer's mind, however, was racing. She watched as Elena's hands lingered on Richard's body, her touches becoming more personal. The sight was becoming increasingly difficult for Jennifer to bear. Despite her jealousy, Jennifer kept her feelings to herself, not wanting to ruin what had become a rejuvenating experience for both of them. She tried to focus on the positive aspects, reminding herself that these sessions had brought them closer together. But with each visit to the spa, her unease grew stronger. One evening, Jennifer suggested a change of scenery. They decided to try a different type of massage that involved both of them interacting more directly. The spa offered a couples massage where both partners could massage each other under the guidance of the professional masseuse. Jennifer hoped this would help her feel more connected and alleviate her growing jealousy. During the session, Jennifer and Richard took turns massaging each other under Elena's instruction. It was an intimate and bonding experience, allowing them to touch and explore each other in ways they hadn't for a long time. For a moment, Jennifer felt her fears slipping away, replaced by the deep love she had for her husband. But as the session progressed, Jennifer couldn't help but notice how Richard responded to Elena's guidance. His body seemed to relax more under her touch than it did with Jennifer's. The look of pure bliss on his face was the final straw. Jennifer's jealousy boiled over, and she found it increasingly difficult to contain her emotions. After the session, Jennifer couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. She felt as though Richard had crossed an invisible line, even though she knew they had agreed to this together. Her mind replayed the events of that evening over and over, each time amplifying her sense of anger and hurt. The image of Elena's hands on Richard haunted her, and she found it impossible to move past it. In an attempt to save their marriage, Jennifer suggested they take a break from the massages and focus on rebuilding their intimacy at home. Richard, however, was reluctant to take a break. He had found the massages to be incredibly relaxing and beneficial for their relationship. Jennifer, though deeply hurt, insisted, and Richard finally agreed, albeit with some hesitation. They tried to resume their normal lives, but the memory of the massages lingered like a dark cloud over their relationship. Jennifer's jealousy refused to be quelled. She became increasingly suspicious and possessive, constantly questioning Richard's actions and motives. Richard, feeling suffocated by her mistrust, began to withdraw, further straining their marriage. The once open and honest communication between them deteriorated, replaced by tension and arguments. One evening, while Richard was out running errands, Jennifer's curiosity got the better of her. She searched through his phone and found a text message from an unknown number. Her heart raced as she opened the message. It was from Elena, thanking Richard and Jennifer for their recent visit and offering her services again if they were interested. To Jennifer, the message was the confirmation of her worst fears. A wave of rage washed over her, and she felt a surge of anger that she struggled to contain. Her vision blurred, and she could hear her heart pounding in her ears. The jealousy that had been simmering for weeks finally erupted. She felt betrayed, convinced that Richard had been continuing the affair behind her back. Determined to catch them in the act, Jennifer grabbed her gun from the safe and drove to the spa, her mind racing with thoughts of betrayal and revenge. The spa was closing for the night, but Jennifer had a key they had been given for after-hours sessions. She quietly let herself in and made her way to the private room where she knew Elena usually worked. As Jennifer approached the room, she could hear faint sounds of laughter and intimate conversation. Her heart pounded in her chest as she reached the door, pushing it open slightly to peer inside. The sight that greeted her was worse than she had imagined. Richard and Elena were entwined on the massage table, their bodies moving together in a way that left no doubt about the nature of their relationship. Jennifer's vision blurred with rage as she watched them. Her mind raced with thoughts of betrayal and revenge. She pushed the door open and stepped inside, the gun trembling in her hand. Richard and Elena looked up, startled, as Jennifer aimed the weapon at them. The room was filled with tense silence as Jennifer's eyes darted between Richard and Elena. Her hands shook with a mix of anger and fear. Richard tried to reason with her, to explain, but Jennifer was beyond hearing. Her jealousy and rage had consumed her, and she could no longer distinguish between reality and her own insecurities. In a moment of blind fury, Jennifer pulled the trigger. The gunshot echoed through the spa, followed by a second and third. Richard and Elena crumpled to the floor, blood pooling around them. Jennifer stood there, breathing heavily, as the reality of what she had done began to sink in. The spa, once a place of intimacy and pleasure, had become a scene of horror and tragedy. The once strong and loving relationship between Richard and Jennifer had been shattered beyond repair. The police arrived soon after, alerted by the sound of gunfire. They found Jennifer standing in the middle of the room, covered in blood, with the gun still in her hand. She was arrested and taken into custody, her mind a whirlwind of emotions. The trial was swift and highly publicized, drawing intense media attention. Jennifer, still struggling to come to terms with her actions, showed little remorse during the proceedings. The prosecution presented a damning case, detailing the events leading up to the murders and the jealousy that had driven Jennifer to commit such heinous acts. Witnesses testified about the Mitchells' once happy and loving marriage, painting a picture of a relationship that had been destroyed by jealousy and suspicion. The defense attempted to argue that Jennifer's actions were driven by temporary insanity, brought on by her intense jealousy and feelings of betrayal. But the overwhelming evidence left little room for doubt. In the end, Jennifer was found guilty on all counts and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The once charming and serene town of Brooksville was left to grapple with the aftermath of the tragedy, mourning the loss of Richard and the shocking turn of events that had led to his death. The Mitchells' home, once a symbol of love and success, stood empty, a haunting reminder of the events that had unfolded within its walls. The community struggled to move on, the memory of the Mitchell family forever etched in their minds. The story of Richard and Jennifer Mitchell serves as a powerful reminder of the dangers of unchecked jealousy and the importance of open and honest communication in a relationship. It highlights the fine line between love and obsession, and the devastating consequences that can arise when that line is crossed. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the town of Brooksville was left reeling. The once vibrant and close-knit community had been torn apart by the shocking events that had unfolded. Neighbors and friends, who had once admired Richard and Jennifer for their apparent perfect life, were now left questioning how such darkness could have festered beneath the surface. It served as a sobering reminder that appearances can be deceiving and that even the most seemingly perfect relationships can harbor deep-seated issues.